All right, everybody, welcome in to Thursday night edition of the Big Picture Live. What in the world? Every day feels like a week or a month. We have gone through some crazy stuff, but the question we're asking tonight is, what did we just live through, and what are we living through right now? Is it a coup? Is it planned? I think you know the answer, and we're going to break it down tonight. Let's go. All right, the question is tonight, what did we just witness? Are we witnessing a coup? Are we seeing right before our very eyes something that we would only see on the in the Soviet Union or something like that from when we were kids? We would see the coups and the different things like that are happening. I'm telling you, this is crazy. So right off the bat, if you have not already done it, smash the like button, smash it, smash it, smash it. Tonight we are on YouTube, Rumble, and X. We're not on Facebook. So if you're watching us tonight, give us that like button, follow us, subscribe, and all of the above. And down in the description is our Telegram channel. And we'll talk more about that at the end of the program, why that is so important for us to everybody that's watching this needs to be on our Telegram channel, because there are things that are happening so fast, escalating so quickly, and there are some things that we are not going to be able to talk about on these platforms, on the video platforms that we're on right now, maybe on Rumble, but the best place for us to go is Telegram. We're figuring out how to use that. We're building it from the ground up. We've got almost 11,000 subscribers on YouTube. We're coming up on about 1,700 subscribers on Rumble. We need all the thousands that watch this every week from around the world to go to that Telegram channel. Even if you've never used Telegram, do it just to be a part of this channel that we got going, because I've already been putting things out there that I put nowhere else. We talk about things there that we're not talking about anywhere else. So go, be a part of the Telegram family. The direct link, very easy, down in the description, and just click that and join. So tonight we're asking the question, did we just witness a coup? What just happened? We're going to watch several videos tonight, and we're going to react to them, comment on them. I've got some news articles. We're going to sort of break down sort of a timeline, if you will. But there's something I want to lead with tonight that's very interesting. I'm sure that many of you have, whether you're watching Fox News, CNN, MSNBC, or you're getting your news from places like this, YouTube, other places, got certain people that you follow, which is probably what most of you are doing. But, there is an interview that President Joe Biden did that I've not seen anyone, listen to me, anyone on regular television. And I don't usually watch CNN or MSNBC, CBS, and all those others, but because I like to see what they're freaking out about when things like this happen, I want to see their reaction. So I've been going back and forth over news cycles among all of the different angles of the news, and I've not seen anyone, whether it be Fox News or any of them, talking about this interview that was done 9 days before President Biden resigned. 9 days. He was in Detroit, Michigan, I believe it was, and he did an interview with a program called Complex. I guarantee none of you have heard about this, and unless you saw the short that I made from it. I think the name of the show is called 360 with Speedy, and this interview was done on July 12th, 9 days before he resigned. The interesting thing is, it was also done 1 day before the attempted assassination of President Donald Trump. And this was a full interview. It's a 20-minute interview. And, I'm not going to play it, all of it. I'm just going to play the beginning of it. And I want to ask, if you're in the live chat, but on Rumble, YouTube, especially comment down below. We'll try to go back and read all the comments. I want to know if anybody has seen this interview, if anybody has seen people using clips of this interview when talking about President Joe Biden. This was literally an interview that was done 9 days before the letter of resignation came. let's watch this, okay? And you'll see on the screen, it says this interview was filmed in Detroit, Michigan on July 12th, one day prior to the attempted assassination on former President Trump in Butler, Pennsylvania. All right, here we go.
What's going on, guys? Speedy here from Complex. It is July 12th, 2024, and we are in Detroit, Michigan right now, just a few months out from the November 2024 presidential election. With that, President Joe Biden has agreed to sit with us for an interview right here on 360. The presumptive Republican nominee and former President Donald Trump has also received an invitation for our show. But until then, here is President Joe Biden. What's going on, guys? I'm Speedy, and the name of this show is 360 with Speedy, and today I am joined by the sitting 46th President of the United States, President Joe Biden. What's up, man? How are you?
Good. Thanks for having me.
Right off the bat, I want before we get into this content, because I want you to hear what he says at the very beginning, the question this dude asked, and then the answer of the current president of the United States, 9 days before the infamous letter on X went out on that Sunday afternoon, one day before the attempted assassination of President Donald Trump. I want to know if any of the Big Picture family, wherever you're watching, whatever platform you're watching this on, have you seen this guy, and have you seen this interview, and have you heard anybody or seen anybody using this interview footage to talk about the state of Biden and where he was? Because we're building a timeline tonight. This was 9 days before he supposedly became a hero now, a national treasure, and that he is the most consequential president in the history of the United States. These are the talking points. This is where he was. This is where his family was. This is where his mindset was one day before the assassination attempt of Donald Trump and 9 days prior to the infamous letter. I want to know if you, other than a short that you've seen me make or something like this, have you seen this interview? I'm playing it from YouTube because it's out there. And the crazy thing is, this video has only got 253,000 views at the time of this recording. It's been out for 10 days. Y'all hear me? This interview has been published for 10 days. Literally, it's either the last or the next to the last. I've seen conflicting reports whether it was the last or the next to the last. And if it's the next to the last, I don't know what the last one was. Interview that Joe Biden, as the sitting president, did, addressing the issue right off the bat, if he's going to be on the ballot. And no one is using this. I want to know if you've seen this.
Incredibly honored. I've heard that you've never had a drink in your life. Is this true?
That's true. I may be Irish, but I'm the only Irish I ever met that's never had a drink.
Ever? Well,
and I'm not doubting that, but never heard that before either. That Joe Biden, maybe you have, never heard in my life that Joe Biden has never had a drink.
Ever.
This is straight vodka here for us, so we can just get comfortable.
That's why I brought along tea.
Nah, I'm just playing. I'm playing.
teasing.
We'll move quick because we don't have that much time. But President Biden, you're getting up there, man. 81 years old. You'll be 82 at the time of the inauguration if you're reelected, 86 at the end of that presidential term. Some people are concerned that maybe you shouldn't be in this race. Are you 100% undoubtedly running for reelection?
1,000%.
1,000%. Why?
I got to finish the job. Look, for the longest time.
Now remember, one day before the attempt on the life of Donald Trump, 9 days before the infamous letter of resignation, he just said 1,000%. I will be on the ballot. 1,000%. I got to finish the job. Now, remember what happened right after the attempted assassination was he came on camera and said, we've got to turn down the temperature. And what many people like myself and others like myself have been saying, you know, when you continuously say Donald Trump is a threat to democracy, he's literally the most dangerous threat to our democracy that we've ever had. You start lighting up these people that want to do these kind of things. So watch this. One day before Pennsylvania,
I was either told I was too young because I got elected to the Senate. It's the second youngest man in the history of the Senate to get elected, and that I'm too old. But what hopefully I've demonstrated with age comes a little wisdom. I've gotten, I'm presumptuous to say this, but I've gotten more done than almost any president has in one term. And we got more to do. And, you know, Donald Trump, I think, is, I said from the beginning when I ran in 2020, that he's a real danger to the country, to our democracy. But I didn't plan on running because
Donald Trump is a danger and a threat to our country, a danger to our country and a threat to our democracy. This interview is like I said, it's almost 20 minutes long, and I'm going to try to skip to this part here at the very end to show you something. Let's see if I can get it right here. Let's see. Just stay with me. In fact, what I'll do is I'll just go over to my Telegram channel and I'll just show you the short that I made from this, because I want you to see at the very end what he says at the very end of the interview.
Unless I get hit by a train, yeah.
So let's watch this again. This is only about 40 seconds.
What changed in that days?
President Biden, you're getting up there, man. 81 years old. You'll be 82 at the time of the inauguration if you're reelected, 86 at the end of that presidential term. Some people are concerned that maybe you shouldn't be in this race. Are you 100% undoubtedly running for reelection?
1,000%.
1,000%.
We got to finish the job.
We will 1,000%, in your words, see you on the ballot this November?
Unless I get hit by a train, yeah.
9 days later, President Biden dropped out of the presidential race. So is it crazy to you like it's crazy to me? This should be the interview that everyone is using. Even the conservatives on the conservative side that's trying to prove that we knew this all along, that this was a setup and all this kind of stuff. Nobody is using this interview. This was done 9 days prior. He is saying 1,000%, nothing can stop me. I have to finish the job. I'm telling you, at this time, 9 days prior, they were already coming for him. You know that. There was people, Nancy Pelosi, all of them were threatening to remove him. You know, people were already saying the money is drying up. Here is an adamant man 9 days prior. Number one day prior to the attempted assassination of Donald Trump, he's calling Donald Trump in this interview a danger. Maybe this is why nobody's using this, because he said Trump is a danger to our nation and an open threat to our democracy. And he says, I'm 1,000% not going anywhere. But I'm not seeing this interview anywhere. You know, I had made a short from this because I'd seen it somewhere else, and I started going out to look for the actual full interview. And it took me a little while to find it. And I found this interview, and it just blows my mind, y'all, that this is not somebody using this video on their channel. This is this guy's channel. This guy had a sit-down interview with the sitting president who just resigned from the competing for president, and just addressed the nation and put his support behind his vice president. And now he's being lauded as a hero. And look down here. I don't know, it's very tiny here, but this guy's got 6.5 million subscribers. It's called Complex is the name of his channel, but it's only got 253,000 views, and it's been out for 10 days. I mean, this is probably one of the most important interviews of this entire news cycle. Why is it being hidden? Why is it not being shown by YouTube? Why is it not being suggested? This thing ought to be in the millions of views, but it's like we're not being shown this other than clips on shorts and Instagram and all this. Nobody's watching this whole video. I watched the whole video. It's because it was very obvious he stumbled over his words, and this was a heavily edited video. You can see all the cuts and all this kind of stuff. It was very heavily. I mean, no telling what the raw version of this is. I mean, But this was 9 days prior and 1 day before the attempted assassination. So keep that in mind. You just watched that. 1,000% I will be on the ballot. And then we have last night, here's the president addressing the nation.
When you elected me to this office, I promised to always level with you, to tell you the truth. And the truth, the sacred cause of this country is larger than any one of us. And those of us who cherish that cause, cherish it so much, a cause of American democracy itself, must unite to protect it. You know, in recent weeks, it's become clear to me that I need to unite my party in this critical endeavor. I believe my record as president, my leadership in the world, my vision for America's future, all merited a second term, but not.
Did you hear what he said? Now you watch this, but you know it's difficult to understand what he's saying. But he literally said, I believe my administration, my record, all that we have been able to accomplish deserves a second term. That's what he just said. Remember, 9 days before his resignation letter, there's a lot of questions about that letter, he said, I'm 1,000% I ain't going anywhere. And now even in his address that everybody was, the whole world was watching, he says, I believe I deserved a second term. I can't believe they let him get that in. But he just said that.
Nothing can come in the way of saving our democracy. That includes personal ambition. So I've decided the best way forward is to pass the torch to a new generation. That's the best way to unite our nation. You know, there is a time and a place for long years of experience in public life. There's also a time and a place for new voices, fresh voices, yes, younger voices. And that time and place is now. Over the next 6 months, I'll be focused on doing my job as president. That means I'll continue to lower costs for hard.
All right, so let's talk about what President Biden said. Okay, once again, without trying to beat this horse to death here, here's the reality. This man had no intention. His wife, his family had no intention of stepping away. He was not going to let anybody tell him that he did not deserve a second term, and especially even if he was not cognitively available, Jill Biden and the rest of the family were not going to step aside because it meant too much to the things in their family. But something happened that shook everything up and had to make the family get out of the way. Sitting over to his left side was Jill Hunter, Hunter's wife, and President Biden's daughter and husband. They were all sitting over there, and I've seen pictures of them crying and all of that. I get that. It's an emotional moment. But I think the tears were for about more than just, I can't believe Dad or Papa or whatever is not going to get his chance for his second term. I believe those tears represented what they know had just been done. Do you understand that on Saturday night, this past Saturday night, and Sunday morning, on all the Sunday morning shows, while I was at church, and if you go to church, you were at church probably, his people were on the Sunday shows saying he's going nowhere. He is committed to finishing the job. He's going nowhere. And literally around 11-something a.m. Central Time, 12 o'clock, something like that, he supposedly types out a letter, signs it. It's not on White House stationery. It's not on White House letterhead. And instead of making a post, instead of making a video like Lyndon Johnson did, the last time, ladies and gentlemen, the last time that any candidate was removed himself from potential presidents, the election running for president was Lyndon Johnson. He did it in March of 1968. And he did it on video. He addressed the nation, and at the end is when he does the famous words, "I will not submit myself, nor will I accept the nomination for presidency of my party, and I'm removing myself for the betterment of the nation," or whatever he said. It was right before the convention that's in 1968 in Chicago. The convention in 2024 is in Chicago, and I'm telling you, the parallels are just freaky. They're just freaky, y'all. When you really look at 1968 and now, and you see how it just seems like the pattern is repeating. But all that to be said, he sends out this letter, and it's supposedly signed by him. There's questions about that. And 1 minute later, a phone call is sent to his staff. His staff found out on X and in a phone call after he or whoever sent this out and resigned. What happened? Do you not want to know? Do we not deserve to know what happened? This family had no intention of stepping aside. And now, I mean, he was being vilified. Do you understand? I saw a commercial on regular TV, watching Fox News. A commercial came on, and I don't know why. Maybe it was on CNN. It probably was on CNN. I was got to think it probably wasn't on Fox News. But whatever I was watching, a commercial came on, and it was a political PAC that had put together this commercial, and they were lauding him. They were saying, "We thank you, President Biden. You have been the most consequential president of our lifetime. You saved our democracy." And they were holding up signs, "But it's time to pass the torch, Joe." It was literally hashtag pass the torch, Joe. It's time for you to pass. They were running commercials against him to get out of the way. And he was saying, "I ain't going anywhere." I mean, the Pelosi, Schumer, all of them were telling him, "Hey, I love you, man, but it's time to go." And he was saying, "I ain't going nowhere." And, I opened it up with that interview that was done 9 days before the infamous letter. What's the percentage chance? Are you 100% going to be on the ballot in November? He said 1,000%. I got to finish the job. What changed? What changed, ladies and gentlemen? Any ideas? Now, I'm not here to be a person that is just being, by the way, yeah, this is about Biden, but I'm not also saying that Trump is a saint either. Okay, Trump's got his own issues, some serious issues that I have concerns with, and I have concerns with things in the Republican platform that they removed before the great unified convention that everybody loves so much. They didn't say hardly anything about, they didn't say anything about life. They didn't say anything about gender, LGBTQ, and all these kind of things that were in the platform was taken out this year. So I got serious issues on that we'll talk about another day. But right now, tonight, we're talking about, we just witnessed an American coup. We just witnessed the removal of a president. We can't prove that. And I guess I got to ask the question so I don't get flagged. Did we just witness the removal of an American president? It seems like something was done. It seems like some kind of threat or some kind of deal. Something happened on Saturday night and especially Sunday morning to change this whole entire situation. Do you agree? Agree or disagree? I want to know. All right, so this is a video that was put out, and it is a little inflammatory in the sense that, it's very biased. It's very biased. You can tell the guy that made this is very biased against Biden, probably very pro-Trump. And it seems like that's inflammatory, some of the things that's in this video. But at the same time, it's just the receipts, as they say nowadays. I brought the receipts. These are the videos, and this is the timeline of what happened.
I'll develop some disease and say I have to resign.
Well, it looks like Joe Biden.
Do you understand that I remember when he said this. He literally said Somebody said, well, will she ever be president? And how are you confident in the presidency potential of Kamala Harris? This was early on in his presidency. This might even have been, this was president-elect. This was like right before he even took the office. He literally says that. Let's go back and watch it again. This is how she'll become president. I'm going to develop a sickness. Well, let's just listen.
I'll develop some disease and say I have to resign.
Well, it looks like Joe Biden predicted his own future demise 4 years ago.
4 years
In a
ago.
shocking turn of events, President Joe Biden has decided not to seek re-election. The big guy himself has stepped down, leaving the Democratic Party scrambling to regroup and rally behind their new nominee, Vice President Kamala Harris. Joe Biden officially withdrew from the race on Sunday, July 21st, which, believe it or not, was National Ice Cream Day. He announced it via a post on X with a signed letter on unofficial letterhead. But who exactly was it signed by? Social media has been ablaze, showing why the signature does not belong to Joe Biden. At first, I didn't think much of this, but upon further review, holy shit. This was a legit coup today. It's not his signature. This is a blatant criminal forgery and a coup. Why no word from Biden himself? In the fog of the assassination attempt, the Democrats initiated a coup. Analyzing the last 5 executive orders that were signed by Biden, you can clearly see just how different the signature is on his withdrawal letter. 81 million votes and the latest guarantees to stay in the race, and suddenly you announce you're quitting via press release? Coup. Let's recap this historic day. Joe Biden suddenly resigns via X. White House staff find out 1 minute later. Joe Biden resignation letter not on official letterhead. Biden's signature suspect. Underlined. Steve Ricchetti helped write letter. Jill Biden tweets heart emoji response. White House wipes Biden's schedule. White House chief of staff calls cabinet, manages communications. Frank Biden confirms health a factor. Family suggests Biden may have terminal illness. Joe Biden holds no live press conference. Where is Joe? Just another perfectly normal day in Biden's America.
So, and I didn't know anything about this, and I've not been able to independently verify this. And I don't have Hulu. If you have Hulu, is this true? I want to play this right here, and then I'm going to commentary.
Only minutes after he dropped out of the race, there
Only minutes is what they're saying. I want to know if this is true.
was already a Hulu special about it.
Just released and just happened.
Tell me our government's rigged without telling me our government's rigged.
Vivek Ramaswamy had
So yeah, and then Vivek
already
in the
revealed
debates.
the Joe Biden conspiracy back in November of 2023.
I also want to close with one message to the Democrat Party. End this farce that Joe Biden is going to be your nominee. We know he's not even the president of the United States. He's a puppet for the managerial class. So have the guts to step up and be honest about who you're actually going to put up so we can have an honest debate. Biden should step aside, end his candidacy now so we can see whether it's Newsom or Michelle Obama or whoever else.
All right,
just
Mr.
tell us the
Ramaswamy,
truth so we can have an
time
honest
is
debate.
up.
All right, so that's not the whole video there. This guy goes into really breaking it down even further, just how obvious it was that something very suspicious, let's say, happened inside the Delaware home of Joe Biden. This is a Daily Mail article that came out yesterday. Biden's family cries and his staff weep as he insists he deserves a second term and commiserates with the White House aides with ice cream. President Joe Biden's family and longtime loving staff cried as he addressed the nation about the decision to exit the 24 campaign. Biden was surrounded by his loved ones and those who helped make his political career as he spoke from the Oval Office. They applauded when he finished his 11-minute speech, but they wiped away their tears. And these are some pictures of his family coming up to him, hugging him afterwards. And then afterwards, he goes outside. This is some shots. There's a crowd waiting for him outside. He speaks to the crowd. Yeah. So the rumor is, and these are all rumors, the rumor is that and it was even stated by CBS News of all places, was confirmed on video that she had talked to his brother, I believe his name is Frank Biden, and he had said, we hate to see this happen. He's a hero to all of us, but we will take him back and take advantage of whatever time we have left with him, was the words they said, that it was reported that he said. And then she said, I asked him point blank, is his decision based on his health, which we've been told repeatedly, even from his press secretary, even as late as today, after the fact, has nothing to do with his health. He's in perfect health. His brother said, yes, his health is the main reason that this is done. And maybe that's the reason why, when you look at the people that was in that room, his brother was not in that room. So you got to ask your question, why was his brother not in that room? So we're asking the question tonight, what did we just see? Did we just witness a coup? Now here's another guy has a YouTube channel that's really big, and some of you follow this guy, country guy, and basically does his videos. He drives his four-wheeler out in the woods, and he'll just stop and he'll just make commentary on things. And this is we just witnessed an actual coup in the White House. This was 2 days ago when it came out, probably close to 3 days now. Let's watch a little bit and listen a little bit what he's saying, and I would love to hear your comments on what he's put together.
Now let me let y'all in on something from the Patriot Voice I just read. It says, America, we have some major problems right now. And I think it's plainly obvious to see that we have lived through a successful coup today of Joe Biden in the White House. Today, speaking, of course, of Sunday. This should trouble every American because this is totally unprecedented and dangerous. Never before has there been a time where a sitting president steps down and leaves nothing but a note. No address to the nation, no press release, no pre-recorded messages, nothing, just silence. And then my friends at DC Drano, I love these guys, says the Democrats wanted Biden out. The Biden family wanted him in. So they waited until Biden was incapacitated with COVID and out of the Oval Office, sent a tweet, then dropped it out and filed the paperwork for Kamala, got the media all behind it, and now Biden can't unring that bell. This is called a coup. Good job, DC Drano. That's absolutely 100% this was. A coup, by the way, if you want the definition, is defined as a sudden exercise of force in politics or a violent overthrow of an existing government. We don't know how violent, we don't know how, we just know it's secretive. We know something went on and it ain't right. Let me make this clear, y'all. Kamala may be here right now at the starting line, but she ain't gonna be there at the finish line. When Trump...
Now this is his theory. I want you to listen to a very interesting theory about what he thinks is going to actually happen. Now it looks like the coronation has happened. It looks like, and you know, since this video is made, it looks like everybody's all in. And I heard today that the DNC has already prepared to virtually nominate her a few days before the convention so that it's in place, basically locking down, at least on those people's premise, any opportunity for any kind of challenge. But I want you to hear what he says about what he's predicting that's going to happen after, up to the election and after the election.
Wins. Whether, I mean, they could still rig it. Don't get me wrong. He may not be in office, but he'll definitely win. When he wins, I believe that Biden will swear in Kamala as a publicity stunt. So all these 45...
Now, I stopped it there so you understand. He said when Trump wins. He's talking about a Trump victory, and then he's talking about the timeline from November to January, what he thinks will happen if Trump wins.
47 hats you're wearing, they need to change those to 45, 48. One way or another, God help us, Kamala, whether it's for 2 days or 2 months, will be president as a publicity stunt. Whether they win the office, whether they lose the office, she will be 47. Now you're asking yourself the same thing I'm asking myself. Why would you run somebody who clearly does not have a chance? Let's not forget that Kamala dropped out of the Democrat primaries in 2020 because she had less than 1% of the vote. 1%, y'all. And let's talk about how Trump is a threat to democracy because the liberals just took out their own guy and politically offed him But yes, Trump is a threat to democracy. Well, you know what? You're damn right he is, because he wants a republic the way this should be. The USA is a republic, not a democracy. You better believe we're a threat to democracy. So if you want to talk about a coup, the real coup took place back in 2020, and we all know that. But now we're dealing with the fact that nobody is running America. There's no elected official whatsoever. Biden is incapacitated, like we just said. So who's in the Oval Office sending out these tweets? Who's in the war room if Russia or China starts feeling lucky? When you think about the kind of meetings that Putin and China are probably having right now in North Korea, I think all my Canadian subscribers are going to understand me perfectly clear when I say America has pulled the goalie. We got absolutely no protection. Now, I personally believe that it's Barack. I think he's in the Oval Office. I think he's making these calls. By the way, did you notice that the Clintons immediately endorsed Kamala, but the Obamas did not? Way to support women of color there, Barack. Or it's because he knows dadgum well they're about to march out Big Mike and Hillary together, and the reason Trump has a major edge over these Democrats, y'all, to completely just defeat them is because the Democrats have to go against the Democrats and the deep state. They have to battle all the infighting there before they even get a chance to get to Trump. They're fighting three sides. It's a nasty crossfire. If it feels ugly, it's because you're watching Plan B, which never ever goes as smoothly as Plan A. The overthrow of Biden would have never happened if Trump didn't turn his head at the very last second. Imagine if the Braves, all of a sudden, the Atlanta Braves marched out Freddie Freeman, and you're like, he can't do that. That's an illegal substitution. We all know Freddie plays for the Dodgers now. Well, yeah, but he used to play for the Braves, and we're going to use him until we can get over the hump. And they just said, we're doing it. Well, that's illegal, and you can't, all these kind of things, and they defiantly just stood by it. Well, the Braves would have to forfeit because it is illegal and it's a revolt against the sport of baseball. Well, as awesome as baseball is, baseball doesn't matter. But what I'm just described is exactly what's happening in the White House right now, an illegal substitution. I look forward to seeing Joe in the next couple of days in the...
Wow. Okay. Those are his words, not mine. But wow, interesting. And I agree with the fact that I believe that the plan that's in place now was Plan B. And, more and more, I think we're beginning to see that there was at least, and I'm not accusing the White House, I'm not accusing anybody, but there were some people that there's something was not right about that assassination attempt and how all the things happened with the Secret Service and all of that. And so there were some powers that be that, said, okay, it didn't work in the courthouse. It didn't work in all this. So this is the ultimate thing here. We've got our plan in place, and the plan did not happen for whatever reason. It didn't go through the way they thought it was going to go through. So then now here we are. And I think that we really did. And I think we have witnessed to some extent what we would call a political coup. And because there's just no way, y'all, it's no way that Joe Biden was ready to step down. There's no way. And he didn't all of a sudden become this super patriot for the sake of the cause of the nation between Sunday morning and lunchtime. Do you understand? He sent his people out on Sunday morning to tell the world, we hear what you're saying, but you need to know we're not going anywhere. We got to finish the job. And then around lunchtime, it all changed. Will we ever know what happened? Probably not. Will we know hardly anything that happened that caused that to happen? Probably not. No one is saying anything bad about him now. No one is saying, listen, you got to get out. You're killing the party. You're killing the down ballots. We're going to lose the Senate. We're going to lose we've never seen the Democrats in such disarray. We've never seen the Republicans so united. And just like that, it's all Kamala 24/7 now. The Democrats are rising. There's poll numbers coming out now that's saying Kamala has tied, or even some of them pulled ahead of Trump. There's hope. There's a spring in their step. People are putting out tweets going, I've got my joy back. I'm happy. I feel like I can live again. There's hope in Kamala. Kamala has never won anything. And watch this. She did not ever even win one electoral vote when she ran for president. And she's from California. She pulled out before the California primary because she knew she wasn't even going to get a delegate from her own state. She's never won anything. And now she is about to be elevated. I'm about to show you in just a minute how she already thinks that she's the president. And the media is allowing her to say things as the president, even though the 25th Amendment has not been put in place and Biden has not been removed officially. Behind the scenes, I think he has. Behind the scenes, they are operating as if she is already the president. You need proof of it? Well, today, when Netanyahu gave his speech that he had yesterday, Benjamin Netanyahu from Israel, originally they were not even going to meet with Biden because he had COVID and all this. Well, he's back now. He had his public address. And so he met with, and I want you to look at the pattern here. They had a photo op where they met together. Biden and Netanyahu did. They took a few pictures and then no questions. Just a bunch of, sort of staring off into space and smiling, no questions. Shaking their hand, good to see you. That was it. Then, why in the world would Benjamin Netanyahu have a public photo shoot and a one-on-one meeting with Kamala Harris? Why? She's not actually even the official. She hasn't really officially been the candidate. She's not the official candidate. She's supposedly going to be that, but she's not made that official yet. They've not even had their convention yet. But listen to her words today. Let's look at this video. This was when she came out of this meeting, which, by the way, if you saw it, I watched it, and I was going to see what kind of questions they got and all this. 14 seconds. I want you to understand this. 14 seconds. They came in, stood in front of the flags, shook hands, took pictures, and then all of a sudden you start hearing the press people yelling, okay, thank y'all, it's time to go. No question. Everyone leave, thank you for going. That was it. It was a closed-door meeting. 14 seconds of photos, and in 14 seconds, every reporter was pushed out of the room, and no reporters were able to be in there with Kamala and with Benjamin Netanyahu. So this is her comments.
So I just had a frank and constructive meeting with Prime Minister Netanyahu. I told him that I will always ensure that Israel is able to defend itself, including from Iran and Iran-backed militias such as Hamas and Hezbollah.
Did you hear what she said? I told Benjamin Netanyahu that I will always ensure Israel is able to defend itself. Kamala's not the president. Joe Biden has said he's going to serve out the rest of his 6 months. He's going to continue to be president. Kamala does not have the right to tell anybody that they can guarantee anything on behalf of our country. But she is being given permission to say those things. She's being given permission to have these meetings. And no one is challenging her on it because she has been made the de facto president already. Because they want her to run against Donald Trump as the sitting woman of color president who's broke through all those ceilings, glass ceilings, and they're going to use the card, how dare you vote against a woman of color as the first sitting president. She's done such an amazing job in this 1 or 2 months that she's been given here to do this, and you're going to put this crazy man in her place, is what they're going to say. What side of history do you want to be on? That's the card they're going to play, y'all. At least that's what I think. Now, one more thing I want to show you is, have you noticed, and I know you have, how when something comes down from on high, mainly from the Democratic Party, there's sort of talking points that are given out to all the media. And no matter what channel you turn to, they all have certain catchphrases that they've been given. Well, today, to his credit, Peter Doocy from Fox News, which is the nemesis of Karine Jean-Pierre, if that's how you say it, KJP, the press secretary. She hates him. And he literally held up a card. He said, would you like to comment on the talking points card that is being distributed by the people of Kamala Harris to the press so that we will have our talking points? And of course, she said, I don't know anything about talking points. You'll have to ask the vice president and her staff. That has nothing to do with me. Well, watch this. You're going to see the leaked DNC talking points that were handed out last night and today. This is from this guy named Bill Agostino. I don't know him. But here are the leaked talking points. It may as well have been an instruction manual for the media. Just look at this. They're practically reciting the list point by point. This is the actual picture on the left is the actual talking points that Peter Doocy held up and said, I was given this by Kamala Harris. Let's listen.
She was never actually border czar.
Border czar, which was not something that was formally conveyed upon her. She's been labeled incorrectly by some members of the right as the border czar.
Republicans named her the border czar.
Republicans have always exaggerated what her job was at the border.
Republicans, again, have labeled her the border czar.
But that's not exactly what President Biden asked her to do.
She was never put in charge of the border.
That wasn't actually her task.
Not to secure it, but to address the underlying roots of migration.
She was charged with leading the administration's efforts to address the root causes of migration.
The root causes of migration to the U.S.
The root causes.
Root causes.
Root causes. The root causes.
Root causes
of immigration.
We also want to point out that right now apprehension numbers continue to decrease in our country, especially over the last few months.
And I just want to note that border crossings have been going down.
And illegal border crossings are lower right now.
Migrant crossings continue to drop.
Border crossings are way down.
Border crossings are down.
Now, the interesting thing is, all of those video clips that you just saw, do you know from when they were, when they aired? Today and yesterday. All of them. That's just a small sample. They were all saying the same thing. Kamala Harris was never the border czar. That's something Republicans made up, even though we have video receipts from 2021 of reporters saying she's been made the border czar. And then the talking points is, make sure you say there are less illegal immigrants coming across the border now than at the time when he took over the presidency. We all know that's not true, but they're all saying it because they've all got in line. They've all obeyed the mantra because they're all a part of this potential, I put in air quotes, political coup that we've all just witnessed in a matter of days. Now, I want to tell you something. I'm not one of those kind of preachers that will go back and look at my prophecies and play them for you. And I'm not being critical on that. I'm not. In fact, that's probably a good thing if you're an accurate person who hears from the Lord and gives a word and they come to pass. That's what the Bible says, how you judge a prophet. But if you follow on Wednesday nights I do something different than what I'm doing now. I do a Bible study, and I'm unashamed to do a Bible study, okay? And many of you watch that Bible study. Well, on that Bible study, I was teaching, this was 7 days ago, all right? So actually it was a week ago yesterday, last Wednesday. And I was teaching from the book of Daniel, and I was talking about in the book of Daniel, chapter 10, when an angel came in and visited Daniel. And it says something. I want to play you what I said that night, and I want you to remember the dates. This would have been on, this would have been on the 17th. This would have been on the 17th, and I said this on that night live. Now, on the 24th day of the first month, as I was by the side of the great river, which, by the way, today's the 17th if you're watching this live. I'm not predicting anything. I'm not prophesying anything. But when I was going back over my notes, I felt impressed to keep an eye out for something significant happening on the 24th day. So let's just see. That was before the resignation And the 24th, which was, of course, last night, was the first time we saw him and the first time we saw the President of the United States say, I'm done. You could see the defeat in his eyes. I felt something big was going to happen on the 24th. I had no idea that on the 24th would be the day that we would witness the current President of the United States address the nation and say, for the sake of this country, I am removing myself from the candidacy of the presidency of the United States. Now, if you understand anything about the power of the presidency, you sort of understand, and this is sort of what preachers call type and shadow, that the president is sort of like the father of the nation. Even though I understand where some of you, he ain't my father and all this kind of stuff, whether you're Republican or Democrat, if your guy's not in there, that's the mantra. But when you're talking about the most powerful office in the nation, in probably the world, and then you're talking about the words that are spoken out of that man or woman's mouth affects all of the citizens that are underneath him. It is the power of the role of a father. Now, I want you to understand what happened last night and why I go back on it now, and I know why the Holy Spirit was telling me, tell them something significant is going to happen on the 24th, which was last night. This is what happened. You have a man who, under pressure, some type of pressure, was made to do this. And he did it. He chose to do it. But when he did it, when he got on camera and made it official, and you saw his face and you heard his voice, let me tell you the power that came from that. If you understand that sort of the father of the nation, you literally heard this man say, I'm passing the torch, I'm stepping away, but I'm going to stay on the job for 6 months. He basically relinquished his role in all of our lives as the president and told us, but more importantly, he told the world. He told Putin, he told Xi Jinping, he told little Kim, he told all the enemies of the world, this nation is on their own. I am going to be an absentee father. I'm going to collect the check. I'm going to have my name on the sign. I'm going to still sit. I'm still going to live in the White House. I'm still going to sit at the desk. I'm still going to be the man, but I'm not going to do any of the duties, basically, even though he says he's going to. We know he's not. In fact, we know he's not for a long time. He relinquished it. Something shifted in this nation when the President of the United States looked in that camera last night, the 24th, which is what I said in that video. I feel something is going to happen on the 24th of this month, and it did. We have witnessed, and we are in the middle. It's not past tense. We are in the middle of something that will shape this nation and the world for decades to come. I'm telling you, even if Donald Trump wins the presidency, many, many things have changed and will never go back. There's some things that he can change, but there are some things that have shifted. And I'm telling you, here's the big picture. This is why I call it the big picture, is there's more going on in this world than we know and we can see and we can hear. There is a spiritual battle going on for the sake of this nation, and it's going on for the sake of your family and for your children. And if you don't know God and if you don't know Jesus, you better find a way to get your relationship. Now listen, it is important. This is huge that you do this. I'm telling you, I cannot describe, I can't say it on this channel right now, but there are some things that I need to talk to you about in the coming days, weeks, months, and even years if we make it. And right now, the most uncensored, unfiltered place that I can talk real to you is Telegram. Down in the description of this video, I think it says breaking news by Larry and Sandy Ragland or something. And then right under there, it says join the Telegram family. There's a link there. Some of you are asking, I can see in the corner of my eyes here that I don't know anything about Telegram. Telegram is basically an app that's designed for your phone. It will work on your computer, but it's designed for your phone Mainly you want to download the Telegram app, and then you just join when you get inside that chat, just join the channel. It's called a channel. Join that channel. It's called The Big Picture, and the link is down below, or you can just search for my name and you'll see it. And let's build this thing. And when you go in there, this is what you're going to see. You're going to see throughout the day, see this right here? This is the online version on my browser. This is me just sharing news articles. So like when I see something that I want to quickly get to the people so that you will know what's going on in this world, I will share some things that I feel like I can show you and not worry about getting flagged. But then I also can do things like this right here. I can do a video like this video right here. It's blogged out here because it is designed to see in the app on the phone. But yeah, that's a personal video. This right here is a video that I did in Telegram on my back porch this morning. It's not on YouTube. It's not on Rumble. It's not on X. It's not on Facebook. It's only in Telegram. And the good thing about it too is I can go live in there and take your questions audibly. I can bring you in and let you speak, ask me questions, and we can go back and forth. These are the kind of things that we're going to do in there. So we need thousands of people in there because we need to build an awake army, a big picture family that ain't woke, but is certainly awake. So go there, join the Telegram, and let's build this thing together. Okay? Let's do it. All right. One more thing. I'll be back in 30 seconds.
Would you like to help us build the big picture family? We're on a mission to wake up the world to what is really going on. All you have to do is go to our website at LarryRagland.com and make a one-time gift, or you can become a monthly partner. Any amount is a blessing and an encouragement to us. While you're there, make sure you get a copy of our book, I See Greatness in You. Browse our merchandise store, connect with us on our social media links, and join our mailing list. We appreciate it. And remember, we ain't woke, but we are certainly awake.
And real quick before I go, I see somebody ask, is it owned by China? No, it's actually owned by an American. It was designed by an American and owned by an American. Now, in order for him to have this, it's mind-boggling. America was censoring him, so he actually lives in Dubai. But he is a freedom-loving American man. They have given him total freedom. His servers are spread out all over the world. They're not centralized anywhere, so no one can shut him down. That's why Telegram is unlike anything out there. So go join it. In fact, I'll see you over there tonight. I'm going to do some things in Telegram later tonight. God bless. We ain't woke. We certainly are awake. Thank you for joining me on this Thursday night.